Mom? Hey, where did you go? Right now, Dad is looking all over for you.
Huh? Is this you, Ed? Are you using your dad's phone again to try and text me?
Well, Mom, I don't have a phone of my own to text you from, so I had to take his.
And a boy in 5th grade doesn't need to have a smartphone at his age, right?
I know that, but Dad told me that when I needed to talk with someone else in the family while they are out, I could use his phone and text. Also, Dad had a small accident with his hand, right? And so he can't use his hand to text you right now.
Yeah. I knew that man was going to care more about you than anyone else. But if he really wants to spoil someone, he's better off doing that with my daughter, who looks just like me, since she is definitely the better looking one of you two.
You're talking about Avery, right?
Yes, that's right. You already know that I'm in love with all things that are both cute and beautiful. And that's why I'm only in love with your cute older sister, Avery.
Mom?
Just a second ago, you had asked me where I am right now, right? Well, I'm at the airport right now.
The airport?
I'm going to be taking your sister to France with me, and she's going to become a supermodel with the help of her mom.
She's going to become a supermodel in France?
I'm going to take her to Paris with me, and we'll find her a modeling agency who will take great care of her. And you are far too ugly to be a kid of my own, so I won't be needing you anymore. Well, you only ever ended up as a kid of mine because your dad brought you along with him in the marriage, so I don't even have to call you a part of my family anymore. So please don't think anything bad of this, okay?
Dad is asking, have you filed out any diverse paperwork yet?
Tell him that the paperwork is sitting on the coffee table in the living room.
Alright. Well then that's fine with me, is what he said.
Huh?
Well, Dad just said that about you a second ago, but I feel the same way about you as well now. Have fun in France, Mom. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ed? This is your phone number, right, Ed?
And who am I speaking to right now?
This is your mom, Andrea.
What?
I've heard about how you've been doing so well for yourself, Ed. So now you can look up to me as your mom since I was able to get you to this point, and I can feel good about myself again as well.
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't believe I'm speaking with my mom right now.
Well, it has been 10 years since we last met, and I'm sure my number is different from the one I had back in those days. But look, I'm your mom. And if you're wondering how I got your number, I was able to get it from your aunt. Your aunt was kind enough to tell me that you're getting into the showbiz yourself there, huh? And that you'll be going into Hollywood for your debut, right?
That freaking dog. She's really gone and done it now.
Hey, come on now. You should not be speaking about your aunt in that manner, okay? It's because of her that I'm finally able to talk to you again, and you can finally speak with your mother once more. I bet you're so happy to finally hear from your mom again after 10 long years of waiting, right?
But I already told you, this is not my mom's number that I'm currently speaking to. Also know that she has only one phone and she's never told me nor anyone else that she has another. So tell me, what the hell do you want?
Come on, Ed. You don't have to give me such a cold shoulder. I know it's been a long time since you've heard from me, but you should still know how to talk to your own mother, right?
Look, can you quit it with all that BS?
Huh?
Are you kidding me? Can you not tell by the way I'm talking to you right now that I don't see you as my mother anymore and that I never want to again?
Huh?
You and that girl of yours, both Dad and I don't care about you guys. And all you do is bring back our bad memories by talking to me again. So go the hell away. And never try texting or calling me again.
Ed! This drama that I'm watching right now, I can tell just by looking at your face that you're the one playing the rival to the main character, right? I saw your name in the opening credits, and that face of yours is the same as when you were back in 5th grade. I totally get it now. Back in the day, you were a bit of an ugly duckling, but now that you've grown into a young adult, I have to say that you are one handsome-looking gentleman. Amazing. So you really are my son after all.
Ugh. You're texting me again?
Hey! Do you really think that's the right way to talk to your own mother? It's not. So you'd better start talking to me in a polite manner from now on.
You're not my mom. And that is why I'm talking to you like the annoyance you really are.
All right already, all right. I get it that it's because of me that you've become this amazing little actor. It's because of all that wishing and praying that I did to have a child of mine turn into an actor that you've become such an amazing person, right?
Seriously?
And compared to you, your older sister Avery, well, let's just say she's not doing as great.
What's happened to Avery?
Well, her and I are coming back to the States soon.
Weren't you and her trying your hardest to get her to become a supermodel or something?
Well, that didn't ever really turn into anything more than just a dream. I thought for sure that since she's a natural beauty, she'd be able to make it in one of those agencies over there, but of course, those French have a different idea of who's beautiful or not. So in the end, any agency we went to never gave her a chance to model, and any private work she tried never ended up being scouted. And what's worse is after failure, she began to eat a lot more bread and stuff to fight the stress. And let's just say she's gained a few pounds. Really, she's no longer a beauty whatsoever, but rather the definition of an obese person. Seriously, I cannot use her at all now. But this is why, to me, you were the perfect son any mother could ever ask for. My prayers were finally heard, and you turned into the most handsome-looking young man imaginable.
Well, I didn't get this far because of you.
Huh?
The only reason I've become an actor is because I wanted to become one, so I put in the effort to get to where I am now. To tell you the truth, it's supposed to be the manager's job to be here with me to help me diet and make sure I stay up to date on roles, right? Well, you haven't been here for me these past 10 years, nor have you ever been my manager, so screw you.
Huh?
Also, people don't just make it in a modeling or acting business by looking good.
Ed!
You have to be able to act as well, whether it's on stage or in the studio. And you have to be able to work to become the character you want to be, which takes weeks to perfect.
Wait a minute.
So you have no right coming to me acting as though you've put any work or care into me? Therefore, please, for God's sake, just leave me the hell alone so that you don't cause me any headaches anymore. Seriously, stop talking to me. I'm not messing around right now.
Seriously, Ed? Don't you think you're going a little too far with all this after having blocked your own mother's number now?
Are you kidding me?
I had my phone number changed so that I could get in touch with you again.
I told you already, stop trying to get in touch with me anymore.
Oh my. Well, why would I ever want to stop talking to my son? Are you really sure you want me to stay away from you even longer than I already have? I plan to become your manager soon so that you can become even more famous.
What?
You don't have to try and keep me at bay anymore. I promise that I'll do everything in my power to make sure you get as many roles as you'd like. And if you're worried about me having any experience, just know that I've been the manager for Avery for the past 10 years, and I did a wonderful job at it.
By wonderful, do you mean you failed her on multiple occasions, and that's why you're back?
Huh?
As from what you've told me, you didn't take Avery anywhere as her manager, and only led her to becoming fat and sad about her life. You told me that yourself the last time we chatted about her.
Well, that was something else. It had nothing to do with me as her manager, rather do with her way of thinking. She didn't have the drive she needed to become a supermodel, and that's why things didn't work out for her. But you're different. I know that with my help, I can take you to the top.
Well, I'm already on my way there.
Huh?
My manager happens to be one of the most well-known in the Hollywood world, and she also happens to be my mom.
Your mom? Ah, right. So this is your way of saying that you want me to be your manager, right? Understood, Eddie. I'll make sure to make you huge in Hollywood, and make sure that you and I never have to worry about falling out of the spotlight ever again.
Wrong. I'm talking about how I already have a manager and mother, and she's not you.
What? What do you mean by that?
My dad happened to get remarried about 8 years ago.
Huh?
And not only did Dad end up getting remarried, but he did so with a woman who he ended up having a baby girl with, and she has the most beautiful face and figure. But, unlike you, she's not the kind of person to only care about those that are attractive looking, and is willing to love everyone in her family very much. And so because of her warmth, I've been able to forget about the cold past that I had with you as my mother, and can now live a new life as a successful man.
That man, he got remarried to a new woman? And not just that, but had a girl with her?
And that's why I've been saying that you're not my mother this whole time. It's been 10 years since you left Dad and I, so I have zero clue why you're back here now trying to talk to me like you ever cared about my family. But if you really think that you have any chance of getting back into this family as my dad's wife, then you're strictly mistaken, as there's zero chance of that happening now.
What?
That's what I thought.
I have no other choice right now. 10 years ago, my dad, who was a very wealthy person, passed away. And of course, after his death, I received a lot of that money in his will from him. And when that money came to me, I thought it would be the perfect chance for me to get my daughter to become a famous model. And that's why I took her with me to France and started to make her model.
I see. So that's what Dad was explaining to me about after you left us?
During the first year, I was never able to land her any modeling gigs, and so I just thought that was a part of the industry. And since she didn't have a name for herself yet, I decided it would be better for the two of us to start conforming to life there first before getting into modeling. But then it was 2 years, and then 3 years, and time just kept on going without us ever seeing any real work come for us. And during that time, Avery graduated from an international high school there. That was the moment I thought she'd really put all her time into modeling without the need to study, but I was wrong. But then I started to really have a closer look at her, and it appeared to me she already gave up. And the food there had gotten the best of her. She was no longer the beautiful young woman I pictured her as, rather a model for some weight loss ad. And it wasn't just that. I noticed that a lot of the money from my father had dwindled away, and so I had to make the choice to bring us back to the U.S.
What?
The house that your sister and I had been planning on living in is no longer there for us. And so right now, we don't have a place to go home to.
Right. Currently, your mom is in an elderly home, spending the last couple of years of her life being cared for by the nurses there.
What?
I heard from her that she used the money left over by her husband and the money from the house when she sold it to get into a really nice home where there are all sorts of amenities for her.
You're kidding. So that means there really is no place for us to go?
And that's not all, actually. You ended up taking your daughter away with you to another country, even though she never really wanted to. And while there, you used up not only your own money that you received from your late dad, but also the money that was supposed to be left for her. There were apparently a few other people that were supposed to get the money from your late father, who never did because of you.
What are you talking about? Where is my mom right now?
I have no clue where she chose to go. Besides that, it's good for her.
What?
So far, everything I've been telling you has been okay to tell you, as the other parties involved don't seem to mind you knowing. But even if I did know more about your mom, I wouldn't tell you, as she never gave me the permission to.
Hold on a second. If you're not going to tell us where she is, how are Avery and I going to live?
Think about that one yourself, Andrea.
Huh?
There's another thing. As for that aunt of mine that ended up causing you to learn about my current situation in the first place, the whole family has stopped talking to her. So if you're trying to go for her for more information regarding me, you won't learn anything more than you already know.
Huh?
Now, I have to get ready to head into the studio for another session of takes, so I'll be going now.
Huh? Wait a second, Ed.
I'm blocking you again.
Right now I'm stuck in a cheap motel with Avery and we don't have much money left to keep us here. When it's all gone, we'll have to move into the streets. Hey, I'm only asking you this one time to please give me a place to live, just for a little bit. Ed!
There was one last thing that I never ended up explaining to Andrea, and it all had to do with the information that was left over regarding her late father's money and assets, and who they all went to. On that sheet of paper, she could probably take a closer look at it and learn where her mother ran off to, had she just taken the time to do so. Of course, Andrea or Avery could still think of that as an option and take a look for themselves, but I was never gonna recommend that to her, as I just don't care about either of them. So whatever happens next with those three will be left unknown to me. And a couple days later, Andrea and Avery both appeared to have figured out where I was currently working in Hollywood and came to find me. But of course I told security of this, and they made sure to stay on the lookout for these two. And when they were spotted around the studio, security called the police, who then came and grabbed the two of them, where they later found some information on distant relatives of them who they ended up calling to come get them. And within a day, a black minivan pulled up outside the police station to pick those two up, and then they were gone for good. My dad later called me to tell me that distant relative was Andrea's younger sister, who ended up taking those two into her company to work for her, day and night, for the rest of their lives. It was such a relief to learn that Andrea and Avery could no longer touch any of us anymore, and ever since then, I've been able to live in peace. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Hi, sister. Can you talk right now? There's something very important I want to tell you. Oh, if it isn't Marissa. I'm currently doing work while on a bullet train. Could you wait until later when I'm not busy? No, I'm afraid I can't wait. What's with that reaction anyways? You sound almost as if you didn't want to see me. Anyways, this is something very important that has something to do with the future of the company, so it can't wait. What? The future of the company? But Marissa, have you forgotten that you have nothing to do with the company's business? Could you please not talk about the company's future, at least until after you find a job and stop doing nothing at home all day? Huh? It's fine if I don't have a job because I'm training to become a housewife. Unlike you, whose only merit is that you're willing to work all day, every day, I have a skill called femininity. Besides, I'm about to get married soon, and I won't have to work after that, right? I mean, seriously, Ida, why do you work so much all the time? Just get married and become a housewife or something. Not everyone shares the same values as you, Marissa. Some people find meaning in their jobs beyond just having to work to earn money. Wait, hold on. You had a boyfriend? And you're already going to get married to him? How come you never came to our parents' house to ask for their permission? You'll find out why soon enough. And of course I have a boyfriend, because unlike you, I'm not an old hag who became so busy with work that she forgot how to be a woman. Well, I'll agree that I am pretty busy with work, but what do you mean I forgot how to be a woman? And I have a fiancé too, you know. If I start acting like a woman by your standards, then I'll soon be drowning in ribbons and lace and frills. I mean, I was able to get married, but on the other side of the coin, you're not going to be able to get married anymore. Besides, are you sure that you have a fiancé? Huh? What are you talking about? What I'm trying to say is, me and Alberto are officially engaged now. That's what I wanted to tell you in the first place. What? By Alberto, do you mean my fiancé, Alberto? Can you think of any other Alberto? I mean, of course I mean your fiancé, Alberto. Marissa, what in the world are you talking about? Are you trying to say that you stole my fiancé? Yep, I'm being 100% serious right now. You see, the two of us are currently in a hotel together. What? Now? Yep, we've been going out for 3 months now. I'm impressed that you didn't notice a thing. It must be because all you think of all the time is that job of yours. Well, that's all I had to tell you. Make sure to cancel the wedding ceremony you had planned for next month, all right? Me and Alberto are going to plan our own wedding of our dreams from scratch. Is that so? I'm going to ask Alberto himself about this later, but if this is true, you better get ready for what's about to come, because I promise you two aren't going to get off easy. Yeah. What are you going to do? Tell Mom and Dad? You say that like you're actually a person of importance. But in reality, you're just a slave to the company, right? Anyways, I already am ready, if that's what you're worried about. Ready to find happiness with Alberto, that is. You're just a nuisance, Ida, so just give up and step out of our way, all right? Hi, Ida. Did you already ask Alberto about the two of us or something already? You see, he came crying to me, saying how you were so scary when you got mad at him. He said you looked like the devil himself. I made sure myself that he felt better after that, though. In fact, he's currently fast asleep next to me, looking like he doesn't have a care in the world. Is that so? He's the one who did something to make me look like a devil, so it's his own fault. Besides, probably the only reason he was scared of me is because he felt ashamed about what he had done. I mean, it was only a month until we were supposed to have our wedding ceremony, after all. Huh? What do you mean he was ashamed? I mean, it's only natural for two people who are in love to go to a hotel together where they won't be disturbed. And I already told you about our relationship, right? What's there to be ashamed of? This is all your fault, and you're just being delusional. I'm trying to tell you that the two of you are being a bit too shameless about this. Never mind, you'll find out soon enough. I'm talking about canceling the marriage with Alberto, so do whatever you want with him because I don't care anymore. What? Really? Yes! Now Alberto is all mine. Thanks for stepping out of the way, sister. Finally, you understand that I'm just a better woman than you. Just go back to your work or something so you can forget all about this. I will, but I'm going to make you two pay me an alimony, all right? What? Yes, not just Alberto, but you too. What? You're going to make me pay one too? What for? For stealing my fiancé? He wasn't just my boyfriend, Marissa. We were engaged. So that means I have the legal right to ask you two to pay me an alimony. What, did you think that I wouldn't be able to ask you for an alimony because the fiancé you stole was your sister's or something? Too bad, but that's not the case. You've got to be kidding me, right? But isn't making your own family pay you an alimony a bit too evil? No, I'm not kidding. And what I'm doing to you is a lot less evil than what you did to me. Seriously, do you not even feel slightly guilty for stealing my fiancé? Oh, and I'll tell you this in advance. It's no use trying to rely on Mom and Dad for help. They're extremely mad about what you did right now. They even said that they regret spoiling you until now, and that they're going to make you leave their house. What? Why? But I thought that Mom and Dad were my allies. I'm so much cuter than you. Why would they side with you? There's no way they would side with you when you just stole my fiancé. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to go easy on you just because you don't have any money and don't even have a job. There's nothing stopping you from getting a job if you want to, so you better find one soon. Otherwise, you're going to have to take out a loan to pay my alimony. By the way, nothing about you is cute, Marissa. Only idiotic guys think that. Oh, what did you just say to me? You're just jealous that I was always more popular with guys than you were, aren't you? Also, there's no reason for me to work. I'm not going to become a slave to a company like you. Yes, there is, actually. I'm going to make you pay at least the average amount. I don't know for sure, but that's at least 20,000 euros. You're so scary, Ida. Wow, so this is how ugly women behave when they're mad? Looks like you're the one who's an idiot. I don't need to find a job to pay your alimony after all. Too bad for you, I guess. Yes, I heard that you made Alberto pay for both your alimonies. And I even heard that you moved into Alberto's apartment after Mom and Dad kicked you out. Yep, the two of us are currently living together. Jesus, this is proof that you completely don't understand the position you're currently in. I wouldn't be so happy about this situation if I were you. Are you just being jealous now because he threw you away to be with me instead? Come on, Ida, it's unbefitting of someone so serious as you. Still, it's pretty funny, though I don't mind. Seriously? Whatever. I don't care anymore what happens to you. To be honest, I'm impressed at how dumb you are and how narrow your view of the world is. Huh? What in the world even is that? What does my view of the world have anything to do with this? I mean, you haven't even noticed yet that you're slowly but surely being pushed towards the edge of a cliff? What? But you're the one who's being pushed towards the edge of a cliff, aren't you? I mean, you're already 30, but you just got your fiancé stolen from you a month before you were supposed to get married? Really, I pity you so much. Good luck on getting married before you're 40. Because I heard that you can't have children after that. I don't think that's going to be easy, though, now that you're in your 30s and have already been divorced once. Maybe if you were pretty like me, you would have had a chance. Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just making a fool of yourself. I decided that I'm not going to tell you what's about to happen. What are you even talking about? You're the one who looks like a fool, Ida. I can kind of guess by your personality just what kind of misunderstanding you're currently making, but you'll find out on your own if you just talk to Alberto himself. Please, Marissa, could you at least try to not be so dumb and just talk to Alberto? It's honestly making my head hurt talking to you like this. You're just crying sour grapes. Besides, if Dad's going to marry Alberto, the next CEO of the company, to one of his daughters, then it should be me and not you, right? I mean, I am younger and more attractive than you. I see, so that's what you were after. I knew it. You did always talk about how you were going to just marry someone rich when I told you to get a job. Yes, I want to become a wife of a CEO. You see, whenever I look at you and how you always just work all the time, I think to myself, wow, I hope I never have to become a slave of a company like that. Getting a job is defeat for a woman. So don't you think that becoming a wife of a CEO is the smartest path to take? Just talk to Alberto for me, will you? You'll understand well then just how idiotic these thoughts of yours are right now. Yeah, you're just saying that because you're jealous Alberto chose me over you. I don't blame him, though. I'm better than you in every way imaginable, after all. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. You see, the two of us are going to be hosting our wedding ceremony in half a year. I'm going to make you come no matter what. You made me pay an alimony of 20,000 euros, right? Too bad, because now I'm going to make you pay 40,000 euros as a wedding gift. Jesus, talking to you really is pointless, it looks like. I'm not going to your wedding, and I'm definitely not going to give you any money. Hi, sister. Do you know what day it is today? Today is me and Alberto's wedding. Today is the day that will symbolize the start of my new life of only happiness with him. At the end of the day, you replied saying that you wouldn't come to all of my invitations, but Mom and Dad are going to come, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Yep, this proves it. They'd rather have a cute daughter like me than a woman like you who's just a slave to her company. You shouldn't get your hopes up regarding Dad. The only reason he came was to make sure that you wouldn't cause any more trouble than you already have. He's embarrassed just being there, you know. Mom, too. The only reason she came was because she wanted to get a last look at my failure of a daughter before I cut ties with her, she said. Huh? You're seriously still crying sour grapes? I mean, I'm about to become the CEO's wife, so I think it would be in your best interest not to defy me too much, you know. It must mean that you still haven't had a proper talk with Alberto if you can still say something like that. Seriously, it's been half a year, Marissa. We don't need to talk. We can communicate without using words, you know. It's something that only couples that are truly in love can do. But I guess you didn't know that. Ida, half of the seats in the wedding venue are empty. They all canceled at the last minute. Oh, is that so? Not only that, but when I told Dad that this behavior was too disrespectful when it's the next CEO and his fiancé that's about to get married, he said that Alberto wasn't going to be the next CEO. What in the world is the meaning of this? What? You're seriously only asking me that now? What do you mean I'm only asking you this now? I mean, Dad sent you to marry Alberto in the first place because he was going to be the next CEO, right? Did Alberto not tell you anything about it? Huh? But it's so obvious. There was no need to ask him about it. I mean, the only children Dad has is me and you. Which means that he would have to send one of us to go and marry the next CEO of the company, right? But I'm going to be the next CEO of Dad's company. What? You're going to be the CEO? Yes. It's been decided for quite some time now that I was going to be the next CEO. The marriage between me and Alberto was nothing as complicated as an arranged marriage for the company's interest or something. We were just co-employees that fell in love with each other. What? Then does that mean that Alberto's position in the company is... He's just a regular employee. A regular employee? Well, he used to be the head of the marketing department, but the company found out about how he was cheating on me and going on dates with you and saw that as a problem, and so he was demoted and his salary lowered. Huh? What's so wrong about going on dates with me? To put it simply so that even you would understand, he was punished for not coming to work and going on dates with you instead. What? Not only that, but apparently he used the company cars on these dates of yours to go to hotels or something. He was barely not fired from the company entirely, but it's true that he was a hair's breadth away from it. He was almost fired? Yep, his salary is much lower than it was before, and he's probably not going to be promoted in the future either. Half of this is your fault, and you should realize that. But... Ida! I asked Alberto to show me his bank account and only 5 euros were in it! Why is it so little? But I won't be able to buy the newest brand bags with this money! Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa? Huh? First, Alberto paid for both the alimony I asked from you and from him. Next, you moved into his apartment since you were kicked out of our parents' house. Not only that, but you're unemployed and have no intention of getting a job since you believe that working is defeat, yet you love spending money and have zero experience saving any money of your own. He now has to pay for 2 people instead of 1 ever since you started living with him. And his salary is not even a third of what it once was since the company found out about what he was doing. Oh, and that wedding ceremony of yours was pretty expensive as well, right? But you couldn't even gather a considerable amount of money from wedding gifts since most of the people you invited ended up canceling at the last minute. Based on my calculations, you made Alberto use roughly 100,000 euros in just these 6 months, didn't you? 100,000 euros? I heard from Alberto before that he had about 100,000 euros in savings, but looks like he's spent almost all of that now. Only 5 euros were left, right? This can't be happening, but this is completely opposite of what I expected. I thought I would be able to live a fabulous life as the wife of a CEO, never having to work a day in my life. I can't turn back now as well since we already turned in the marriage papers. What should I do about this, Ida? Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa? What? It's clear what you need to do. You need to get a job and work as well. You see, everyone in society has to, in general, work to make a living. You were screwed the moment you started thinking that working is defeat. If only the world worked differently, then maybe you would have gotten what you wanted. So if you don't want to join the dredges of society, because you're going to at this rate, go and get a job. Why do you have to say things like that to me? You're so mean, Ida. Not long after that, Alberto voluntarily resigned from his job. It looks like it was too difficult for him working at a place where his former fiancée and now also sister-in-law were going to be the next CEO. Apparently, he brought Marissa with him and moved to his hometown. I heard that he plans on getting a new job at a factory that produces dried foods owned by a relative of his. Marissa, who loved everything about the city and how everything was so busy and shiny, will probably find this new life in the countryside of hers difficult and boring. But since she could no longer rely on our parents, she had no choice but to go with Alberto. But it seems that her mother-in-law was quite the character. Apparently her conditions of letting the 2 of them live in Alberto's parents' house was that they would have to live with Alberto's parents, and she would manage everything related to their finances, including their salaries. My sister left the city shaking from fear, and it looks like this marriage of hers is going to be difficult in a lot of ways.